Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's event. Today, you'll be meeting a couple dogs that are being fostered by our lovely fosters here in DC. And they're all part of the organization City Dogs and City Kitties DC. So we're a rescue in DC. We don't have a physical shelter. So all of our dogs are with fosters. And you can find us on Instagram at City Dogs Rescue or at our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. And there you can find information about donations. You can ask about dogs. You can volunteer, foster, all of that good stuff is on the website. You'll also be able to find all of the dogs that we are spotlighting today on that website if you want to find more information about them. So today we are going to start with Dolly. So Dolly is a 2-year-old female hound mix who weighs about 40 pounds, and she's from North Carolina. You can find more about her both on our website and at her special link, which is bit.ly/adoptable Dolly. Her name is spelled Dolly, like the toy. So Carolyn, can you tell us a little bit about what Dolly's like? Can you introduce us?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name's Carolyn, and I'm the foster for Dolly. And I've had her for 6 to 8 weeks now, so a little while. And I'm the second foster to have her. So she's been with the organization for a little while. She's very, very sweet, very quiet natured. And when she first came to me, she was very, very shy, very nervous. She still has a general nervous nature. And I think part of that is because she came to City Dogs from quite a rural location. And obviously I'm in DC. It's a very busy neighborhood. There's a lot of people and a lot of noise. So she's taken a bit of time to kind of adjust to that, like seeing a bus for the first time, hearing a motorbike for the first time. So she's had quite an adjustment period, but she is sort of a low to medium energy dog. A lot of hounds I know are quite active. She's active in the morning in that she definitely wakes up and wants to be fed and then is immediately ready to go outside, for a walk. And we take about an hour's walk in the morning, and it's quite a measured pace. Definitely with the hound, she wants to sniff a lot along the way. So she's not an exercise companion. She's definitely wanting to sniff and do her own thing and stop every 5 minutes and, check out the latest trees. And then the rest of the day, she's pretty much as you see her now. She's pretty much asleep somewhere. She loves pillows. She buries herself, she creates a nest out of her blankets and pillows. And that's pretty much where she stays for the rest of the day. So that's what I mean when she's sort of medium energy, and then in the morning she definitely wants to get outside and do her thing, but for the rest of the day it's pretty much 10-15 minute breaks 3 or 4 times just to kind of go to the toilet outside, and that's about it. As I said, she's got a bit of a nervous nature, so she is particularly fearful of men, and I have introduced her to some male friends, and she doesn't go up to them, but she kind of takes her cue from me as to if they're okay to be around. So I wouldn't say she's no men. She just will take a lot longer to kind of feel just safe and kind of get used to having men around. Very female friendly. She is quite cautious of new people. She won't let people come up to her and pat her straight away. But after kind of meeting people a couple of times, if you give her some space, she does kind of come out of her shell a bit. She has a lot of confidence, though, when she's around other dogs. She's very well socialized with other dogs. She goes to doggy daycare 2 days a week and absolutely loves it. As soon as she figures out that we're walking down the hill from the house, she knows exactly where she's going. And the tail goes up and she's super excited. And I've had nothing but good reports about her at doggy daycare. So if there are other animals, I think she would do well. I think she would take confidence perhaps from having another dog around, but she's equally loves just lapping up the attention all on her own as well. So I wouldn't say it's a requirement. I think
Awesome.
she would be fine with cats as well. She has no herding tendencies. She's had squirrels walk right under her nose at the park and she doesn't care. So she doesn't seem to be fazed by having other small animals around. So she could be good in a household that might have some existing pets like cats. The only things that she does have, which are, up to note, she's heartworm positive. But she's not actually showing any sort of side effects from that. So if it wasn't on her paperwork, you wouldn't know. I've fostered many dogs and I've seen no sort of difference in her general behavior or well-being. And that's probably partly because of her age. She's still quite young. The other thing is she does have a sensitive tummy. So she's on a sort of a bland diet at the moment. You can buy over-the-counter or prescription sort of pre-prepared bland diets, or you can cook your own. So I find it cheaper just to cook it for her, and it's basically white rice and some kind of white meat, so chicken or, turkey mince, and then some pumpkin puree, and then she gets sort of a probiotic daily as well. And then since she's been on that diet, she's been fine and she's had no tummy issues at all. But it is something that, she'll need sort of ongoing, is to have a gastro-friendly diet. And that's sort of all I can think of right now. She doesn't she's not super playful. She's active in the morning, but she hasn't had a lot of interest in toys. Loves treats. It took her quite some time to feel comfortable to take treats out of my hand. She didn't do that for about 2 or 3 weeks, and now she just can't get enough. Every time I go near the kitchen, she stalks me thinking, maybe a treat will fall on the floor. So she's permanently on crumb control now. But she just she's an affectionate dog, but she's not the type to kind of run up to you when you come home. She's happy to sit next to you. You can pretty much pick her up and put her anywhere and she'll stay. Like I picked her up and just put her on the bed and she'll stay here for as long as, I'm here. But she's not the puppy on a TV commercial that's going to lick your face every 5 seconds and want to be in your lap all the time. She's not sort of quite like that. So I guess I'll pause there. And I guess if there's anything I haven't covered, any other questions?
Yeah, so if you could just tell us a little bit about how Dolly adjusted to living with you when she first got to you. So like what did settling in look like for her? And like how has she changed and like opened up more since she got there?
Yeah, settling in for Dolly was a lot of patience and giving her space. She feels much more comfortable inside than she does outside. Sort of noise, people, cars was quite overwhelming for her. So initially settling in was just letting her have run of the house, find where she felt comfortable sleeping, leave her be, not kind of getting too in her face or, me being too overly affectionate with her, just letting her kind of calm and adjust in her own time. And we started with very short walks because she was really quite scared of just going outside at all. So I'd just have to take her out a lot more regularly because she wouldn't sort of go to the toilet straight away. And food was the other thing. She was very keen to always eat. She did a great impression of a starving dog 24/7. And she was a bit underweight. So she's been fed 4 times a day at the moment. So I think you said she's 40 pounds. She might be up to 43 or 44 now. But settling in for her, it's patience, it's time. She's not amazing on the lead. She's getting better. But it's just giving her the time to unwind and adjust and having patience with her on walks, letting her get familiar with the neighborhood and build her own confidence that way.
Awesome. So when is Dolly the happiest? I know you talked about how she loves doggy daycare, she loves the snacks, she loves her food, but like what is her favorite thing in the world?
I think her favorite thing in the world is pretty much what she's doing now. She can curl up and just like nestle into any sort of set of pillows. She's just happy as can be. That in the morning when she first wake up, she's very keen to like get outside and go and sniff the neighborhood. But she's generally got a happy disposition. I've never heard her bark. She's super quiet, and I'm in an apartment, so that's sort of something that's important for me. She's only whined a couple of times, like when she wanted to go outside. And she's very much, routine is her friend. So she knows, for example, that I feed her as soon as I wake up, and then we're going to go straight outside. So she'll just go and sit by the door and wait for me to kind of get out of my pajamas and get my sneakers on. And, you know, she very much responds to routine. Yeah, but she's generally pretty happy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carolyn. And once again, this is Dolly. She's a 2-year-old hound mix at 43 or 44 pounds. And you can find her on her website, which is bit.ly/adoptable Dolly, spelled Dolly. Thank you again.
It's all right.
And so next, we're going to move on to Callie. So Callie is a 2-year-old female lab mix who weighs 50 pounds. And you can find her information on our website again, which is citydogsrescuedc.org, or at her link, which is bit.ly/adoptable Dolly. So, not Carolyn, sorry, Emily. When was the last time Callie made you laugh, and why?
Hi, so I hope you guys can see Callie. She's all black, but so it can kind of be hard to see sometimes. Callie makes me laugh all the time with her sort of silly antics and the positions that she gets herself into. Just before this call, she was rolling on the ground in her playroom with her bone in her mouth, you know, all her legs up in the air, being really cute. So she cracked me up then. And earlier in the day, she was like in this crazy position where she was half on the couch, half on the ottoman. And that just really cracked me up too. So she gets into funny positions. She does a lot of funny positions when she snuggles with you on the couch too. So she's always cracking me up. And then one of the things I love and sort of brings me joy is how excited she is when she runs out into our backyard every single time. She's just like, it's the first time she's just running out. She's so excited. And so that sometimes gives me a giggle.
Awesome. And what would Callie's ideal forever home look like?
I think Callie could find a forever home with a lot of different types of families. But I think her first priority is just someone who she can love, and then also someone who loves snuggles and kisses, because that we were talking about Dolly. I was actually thinking, oh wow, she's the exact opposite. She is the dog that will greet you crazily when you come to the door, and she always wants to lick your face or some part of your body, giving you kisses, and to snuggle with you on the couch is one of her favorite things. I think she would want me to say that also it would be great if her forever home had squirrels, because that's her other true love and in life is watching squirrels and chasing squirrels when she gets the chance.
Awesome. So on top of those squirrels, like what is she like on walks? Like where does she like to go? Is she a big sniffer? What's her deal?
Yeah. So we live in a pretty quiet neighborhood. You know, it's kind of wooded and there's a lot of trees and like grass around. She does like to sniff, but not always. A lot of times she likes to really, you know, go and explore the neighborhood without stopping too much. I think it kind of depends on her mood. But yeah, we'll usually do about a 20 to 30 minute walk. We're trying to do them morning and evening now when it's a little bit cooler. But yeah, she loves her walk. She likes looking around and sniffing. And yeah, she's we don't see a ton of people and other dogs because, like I said, our neighborhood's pretty quiet. But she's always interested in the things around her. She's always kind of looking to see what she can see, squirrels and birds, and if she sees you know, someone in their yard or something. So she likes to check out the world around her, I guess, in her walks too.
Awesome. And so last question, if Callie had to get a human job, what do you think she would be good at? What would she want to do?
What she would want to do. I thought of this this morning as a funny one. So I think she'd love to be an arborist. So like I said, our neighborhood and our yard has a lot of trees. And well, I think she really just secretly wants to go up in the trees with the squirrels and the birds. Of any dog I've ever known, she really looks up at the tops of the trees, which I've never really seen before. So I thought if I was speaking for her, she might want to learn how to climb trees.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Emily. And of course, thank you, Callie. And again, if you want to know more about Callie, you can look on our website or at her website, which is bit.ly/adoptcallie. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And up next, we have Rio. So Rio is a 4-month-old male lab/Australian Shepherd mix. The number I have is 14 pounds, but that might have changed in the past month or so. So yeah, what can you tell us, Kate, about Rio's personality?
So Rio is he's just pure puppy and pure sweetness. We are a household of 2 adults and 3 kids, and he gets along with all of us. He's still learning with the 3-year-old, how to. They're both learning. She's learning how to tell him no, get down, and he's learning how to, that he needs to be gentle with her. But it's all love, it's all playfulness and happiness, and he has some favorite things he likes. We have one of those IKEA tunnels, those like fabric tunnels that he runs through. And we have a little puppy pool that he jumps in and out of. And so he's just a sweet, wonderful little puppy. I mean, he's really into this peanut butter Kong right now. Awesome. I saved it just for the occasion.
Thank you for that. So can you describe for us, what is Rio's ideal day? Like from top to bottom, what does he want to be doing?
He is always really excited when it's time to eat. So he would have his regular meals for sure. No, not right now. And he would just love to play. Today was actually the second walk that he's ever gone on, because we're supposed to wait 2 weeks until after his shots are fully effective to take him outside the yard and the house. And so I think a nice long walk where he can sniff everything would be pretty nice. He's, the outside world's very exciting right now. And really just hanging out with us. He's happy to sit in the backyard with us. While we do little projects in the yard or whatnot. And after he's done like playing with our almost 4-year-old dog, you'll just look over and he'll just be sitting there watching birds. So he's playful, but he's also kind of chill. And I mean, he's just a really good boy. He's just a very, very good boy. He's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And so what can you tell us? I'm sure we have a front runner in your hand right now, but what can you tell us about Rio's favorite toy? And how does he like to play with it too?
So I think the tunnel could be his favorite, because he can play with it so many different ways. He can like crawl through it. He can kind of wrap himself in it. He can chew on the outside, and you can like kind of pull him in it. Like he just thinks it's very dynamic, so he has a good time with that. And we do too. It's really funny.
Nice.
So, and also playing with another dog too. We had his brother for a little while too, and he just loved to just roll and play with him. So another dog or puppy is pretty sweet for him also.
Awesome.
Let me see if I can get him better on camera. There he is. And as you can see, he has this cute little nose, and his eyes are a mix of brown and blue. So he's super cute.
And if you did a DNA test on Rio, right, and you found out that he was only 90% dog, like what other animal do you think he has in him?
The only animal that came to mind was like a little bear cub. Like I was just thinking about him rolling around with his brother and how they just kind of like roll one over the other. And it just reminded me of little bear cubs. So yeah, I would think just, playful little cubs.
Right. And is there anything else that you think that Rio's potential forever home should know?
Oh yes, I did. There are some things that they should know. He is like, ever since he came to us a couple of weeks ago, this little guy has only had like 2 accidents in the crate, which I think is phenomenal. So he definitely, and he'll sleep overnight. You know, sometimes puppies wake up in the middle of the night, and he's never done that. He sleeps really nicely through the night. And we're still working on house training, but that's going really well too. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Rio and Kate. Again, you can find more about Rio at his website, which is bit.ly/adoptrio, spelled RIO. Thank you so much. Okay, and up next we have Daisy. So Daisy is a 5-year-old female hound mix, and she's about 50 pounds. So Serena, what do you think makes Daisy special and like attractive to potential adopters?
Oh, yeah. I think I would say a couple of things. One is she just has the sweetest, most docile temperament. I've had dogs. I've volunteered at the animal shelter, so I've been around a lot of dogs. And honestly, this is the one dog I've met who just really just wants to be friends with everyone. We've met people of all ages on our walks. We've met dogs from like a 1-pound Chihuahua to 100+ pound Great Dane. She's done great with all of them. She's done great with my cat. And she really reads signals well. So she knows, whether to be playful in a situation or whether to be submissive. She kind of does, she just, is just great in every interaction. I've never heard her bark at another dog. I think she would just adapt to any living situation with enough time and patience. The other thing is that she's really easy to care for. She's a little bit older, like you said, around 5. So she kind of has this like perfect, mellow, middle-aged dog energy level inside and out, but she's great. Like if you want to take walks, she loves to walk at it, but it's at a pretty easy pace so she can sniff because she is a hound, in case you can't tell from the ears. But once we do kind of a sniffy walk at a nice pace, she's happy to just sleep the rest of the day while I work. And she doesn't beg for food at the table, which is, even though she's a hound, I can sit there and eat and she doesn't mind. She's just happy to hang out on the couch with me, or, while you watch TV. And also she doesn't mind if, I leave for a few hours. She goes into the crate. She's perfectly happy to kind of, lie there with a Kong and just take a nap in the crate as well.
Awesome. And so I know you've had her for a little bit, but what has been your favorite moment so far with Daisy?
I think just a couple of days ago, we had a very sweet moment where one of my neighbors, who has a baby who's just learning to walk, was outside, and he was very interested. He's still very unsteady because he can't really walk. So he was kind of toddling up to Daisy, and, he just walked right up to her and kind of booped her on the nose, and she was fine. Like she just, calmly kind of stood there. She reacted perfectly. And, I will say, I don't have kids, so she doesn't live with kids. I only know what we see when we are out, walking, but, just kind of showed what a gentle soul I think she really is. And really every day, pretty much every day we have interactions like that with her as we walk. We've met so many people, and even people who sometimes seem a little bit scared of dogs or maybe don't really like dogs that much. They're very interested in her because she just has this very cute, like these ears, and her kind of doe eyes or just get a lot of attention. She just has a good temperament for that, and she takes treats from them very gently. I think she's a great ambassador for rescue dogs.
Awesome. And how does Daisy keep herself entertained? I know you mentioned that she's good in her crate, but in general, what does she like to do by herself?
Sleep, pretty much. Mostly, I think, she really loves the outdoors. I think like the other hound, Dolly, she just loves her walks outside. But once she's gotten her a good, sniffy walk in, could be 30 minutes. She can go for a longer walk if you want. Then once she comes inside, she's just happy to sleep. And, sometimes she'll take a toy out of the basket, but I'm not really sure she knows what to do with it. So then she just drops it and goes back to sleep. Yeah, no, she's very easy in the house.
And if you were to write a book about Daisy, what do you think you would title it?
I definitely think it would be something like, how to win friends and influence people, the canine edition, because she's a great networker and she just loves, meeting new people and dogs and all creatures, and just being a friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And before we wrap up with you, is there anything else that you think her forever people should know about?
Also that she just really loves walking with other dogs. She was a little bit shy, and she still is sometimes, because she came from a rural area and this is now a very busy area. But even if we see a dog on the street who, she's just happy to start walking along with them, and she's much braver when she has another dog. We've gone, she'll be happy to walk multiple blocks, places she's never been, if she has another dog friend to go with.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Daisy and Serena. And you can find more about Daisy on our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. And up next, we have Bilbo. Bilbo is a 2-year-old male. He is a mountain Kermix, about 50 pounds. So Sarah, when was the last time Bilbo made you laugh, and why?
So Bilbo made me laugh this morning. He's kind of waking up. He's a sleepy boy right now, but he made me laugh this morning. I was trying to change the sheets on the bed. And the moment I stepped away from putting on the fitted sheet, he immediately hopped up and was like, "This is made enough for me. One sheet is on, and that is all I need," and proceeded to hang out there for an hour. I was trying to get him off the bed because I needed to finish making the rest of it, but he was very satisfied to just lie on that one fitted sheet. So he always kind of makes me giggle, because he's kind of a goofy little dog, but he's a cutie. Want to go? He's tired too, so.
So what type of forever homes do you think would be a good fit for Bilbo?
I think Bilbo would be a really great fit for people who currently work from home, or if they're retired and stuff. He loves being around his humans. He loves being and interacting with people in the home. So he would do really well if, you were around during the day to kind of keep him company. When you're typing away at the computer, he can sit on a bed next to your desk. He is more than happy. He doesn't need a lot of attention, but he just loves to be, around his humans. He also would love to be in a home that'll take him on a lot of nice long walks. He is a hound. I know a lot of other people have hounds who've come before me. And, they were saying that they love to sniff, and same thing with Bilbo here. He loves to sniff, and he loves to go on long walks throughout the city and kind of explore. So he would love somebody who's willing to take him on some nice, really long walks there.
And how does Bilbo behave when meeting new people, whether it's on walks or people that come over? What is he like when he meets people?
So he's a little shy. He won't be jumping all over you or anything. When he meets new people, he has lately been kind of getting out of his shell the past couple of days. And he will always accept pets, and would love it if you spent some time, scratching his ears and his head. But by the end of, the meeting, I went out to dinner the other day with my friends and I brought him along. And by the end, he was like, "Excuse me, you're saying goodbye? Where are my pets?" He warms up very easily though to people and really just loves interacting with them.
Awesome. And is Bilbo at all similar to his namesake, Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit? If yes, how do you think so? And if not, why not?
So I did have to look up Bilbo Baggins' characteristics because I did not know him. But I would say, based off of my internet search, yes, I think so. I think he's like Bilbo Baggins because Bilbo was kind of shy, not ready for the adventure. But then he kind of came out of his shell throughout the tale. It's the same thing with sweet little Bilbo here. He's shy, he's a shy dog at the dog park. but slowly we've been going, and he's been coming out of his shell there, been coming out of his shell. We went to the farmer's market today and he had a great time. So we're going on little adventures to try and make him a little bit more adventurous, and he's getting better each day.
Awesome. And to wrap up, is there anything else that you think that Bilbo's potential forever parents should know about?
Yeah, so Bilbo does have a little bit of separation anxiety. He is totally house trained. He has never had an accident in the house when I've had him, even when I leave him alone. He just does get just a little bit anxious when you leave him alone, but he settles down within a couple of minutes of you leaving. And then we'll just kind of wait for you to come home so you can kind of snuggle with him again. But he, is good all around, doesn't, he won't wreck anything when you're gone, anything like that. He will just be waiting for you to come home. So he's just a little anxious, but we're working through it together right now. So
awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Bilbo and Sarah. Again, you can find Bilbo on our website or at his link, which is bit.ly/adoptbilbo. And up next, we have Vedette. Vedette is a 4-year-old female mountain cur mix. We have another hound today, and she's about 38 pounds. So what can you guys tell us about Vedette's personality?
This is her personality. She is a couch dog. Vedette loves to be on a couch. We think Vedette might be Bilbo's half brother. They came in or half sister. Bilbo might be her half brother because they came in from the same small town in West Virginia on the same transport. And she was watching him on the screen.
CDR thinks that too.
Yes. Yeah. So, she's a great couch dog. She loves to hang out on the couch, watch TV with us, very chill. She does, if you take her to the dog park, she likes to run at full speed in giant circles as fast as she can. But when she's in the house, she's like, I'm going to chill. Sometimes she goes to the basement where we have a little couch in the basement, and she'll just go and hang out on a different couch. She's really quite obsessed with couches. She's a very good girl.
This is one of her favorite toys. It's the squeaky elephant.
We won't squeak it for you, but she likes to squeak it.
So that's her favorite toy. How does she typically play with her toy? Like, is she a tug of war dog? Is she just like a little cuddler?
She's not a tug of war dog. We've been trying to teach her because our resident dog loves tug of war, but she hasn't figured that out yet. She mostly likes to squeak it, and she likes to
toss it in the
air, and we'll play keep away, and she likes that. That's fun, but she hasn't quite figured out the actual tug of war yet. She's a good girl.
And how has Vedette grown and become more comfortable with you since you guys started fostering her?
We had her for quite a while. We've had her since nearly the beginning of the year. She went through some surgery, so there's a couple of months where she was going through medical stuff, but she's fully healed and fully ready now. She was very nervous. She was very, very quiet. Her tail was tucked between her legs. She was very, this is a big city. It's very different from a field in West Virginia. She has gotten a lot more relaxed, a lot more social. We've taken her to lots of events, and she's met lots of dogs in the neighborhood. She's very calm when she meets them. She's not like super playful, but she's not afraid of them anymore. She's very comfortable. She is a little afraid of fireworks and thunderstorms still, but we're working on that. She goes to her own crate, on her own, and hides in the back of the crate when the fireworks were happening around the 4th. So she still has some nervousness, but she's a lot more comfortable with the outside world than she used to be.
Awesome. And which celebrity would you say your foster dog is most like, and why?
We thought hard about this and we couldn't come up with one, but what we like, I would say, is we want to say that she's the type of celebrity that is not a celebrity, and she wants to leave this couch now. Yeah. She's the type of celebrity that during a party, she was invited to a birthday party last weekend, which she did fabulous with 4 other dogs. And she's the type of celebrity that would go to a party and then disappear without saying goodbye. And I'm not saying she ran away. I'm just saying she went to the basement to lay down in their basement. And she, when she needs to leave, and get away from the chaos, she does it on her own terms quietly. So that's the type of celebrity she is.
She wants to be an anonymous, like the kind of celebrity who doesn't get recognized in public.
Yes, she doesn't want to be a celebrity that's known. Definitely. I will say that Vedette thrives on, she does have a little bit of separation anxiety. She'll bark for like about 5 or 10 minutes after we leave the house, but then she'll stop. And we do put her in a crate. I have not seen her chew up anything, but we do put her in a crate just because she's a hound and she could find something. We just don't know. We just don't realize. But she's totally happy being in there. She hasn't had any accidents in the crate, but she thrives on discipline or routine. So a schedule, like she goes and sleeps on her own on the couch in the basement. We don't lock her up at night, but she comes upstairs. She lets us know I'm ready to go to the bathroom in the morning, and then we let her out. We come back in, we have breakfast. She goes out for a second time to do more business, and then she plays for a little bit, and then she sleeps on her couch, and all the animals here have a mid-morning nap. And she's, she just likes a schedule to be on. So she does thrive on that. She would love a backyard, and she would love another dog to be a dog sibling with. So if anyone wants to adopt both Bilbo and Vedette, or has a dog that needs a sibling, she would love a dog friend.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any final thoughts that you think somebody in her forever family should know?
Just someone who's going to be patient with her, because she's probably going to be a little bit scared and have some anxiety in the beginning, and just to have patience with her and work through that and get into a routine. I would say that she finally started to come out of her shell. It took about 3 months, I would say 3 to 4 months. And she doesn't need to be up underneath you. She loves to know where you are, and I'm more of her person than he is. Like, she doesn't care if he leaves the house, but she cares when I leave the house. But she also doesn't need to be up underneath me all the time. So if you want a dog that's always on you and she doesn't lick your face. I've never had her lick my face or lick me at all. That's not her. She loves dog companions, but she likes to meet them slowly on her own terms. When we take her out for walks, if other dogs come up to her and are super excited, she gets scared and she puts her tail between her legs. So she needs slow introductions to other dogs.
And other people.
But she'll get there. She's totally fine with our next door neighbor's dog. And like the birthday party last week, we introduced her to all the dogs. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to go run and play with these dogs now. And then when she feels overwhelmed, she goes and lays someplace else. But yeah, so she just someone who's going to have patience with her, and she's just a sweetheart.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Vedette, and both of you. You can find more information about Vedette at bit.ly/adoptvedette, and Vedette is spelled Vedette.
And she's a mountain cur mix, so you can look her up by breed, which is the fastest way to do it. Look up mountain cur mix.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. So up next we have Rose. Rose is a 7-year-old female plot hound mix. And I think she's our last hound mix of the day. So she's a great little ringer. And she's 45 pounds. So Leah, can you introduce us to Rose and tell us a little bit about her?
Sure. So as you mentioned, she's a plot hound mix. I had to look that up and kind of see what it meant. And according to Google, it means that it's the state dog in North Carolina, and they were trained to hunt bears in the mountains, which I cannot imagine her doing that at all. But, she is about 7 years old. And when she came to DC, she's from Bladen County, North Carolina. She did have heartworms, or she was heartworm positive. And because she is older, unlike Dolly, it was determined that her case seemed a little more advanced. So we did go through the heartworm treatment already. So anyone that adopts her shouldn't have to worry about that. We went through the treatment, but because of that, and with the activity restrictions that are involved with heartworm treatment, I've had her 4 months, and for a good portion of that time, she was on exercise restrictions. So very limited walks and interactions with other dogs and other people. So she's just now able to start ramping up her exercise. And she is very, very happy because I don't think she loves anything more than a sniff walk. She is so happy. All I have to do is take her leash off the hook by the front door and she comes running from wherever she is, because she is ready for it after all these months of not being able to go for long walks. She's very happy. I have a maybe 5-6-year-old dog, and they get along very, very well. Rose is pretty submissive, which suits my very alpha dog very well. When she first came, she had no idea how to play, and my dog won her over, because I don't think Rose had the option of saying no after a while. And now she's become the instigator for playing in the backyard or in the house. So that's really great to see. She does not have any interest in toys, even though my dog will throw them in her face. Rose doesn't seem to have any interest in that. She does very well crated. I'm in the office 3 days a week, and she sleeps all day in her crate, does well with my dog walker. He says that she's doing very well with him. They go hang out in our backyard together, and she's just a really good, mellow, easy girl. She's similar to Vedette. She loves sleeping on the couch or the chair or the dog bed. But when it's walk time, she's like on it. She's ready to go. She loves to sniff. She loves to explore. I live in a very busy, loud neighborhood, and it doesn't seem to bother her. The only thing that we've really found so far is she really doesn't like fireworks. And unfortunately, they last for a few weeks, but she's very happy that those seem to be done with now.
Awesome. So you said you've had Rose for a couple months. How has she changed or grown since you first started fostering her?
Yeah. So obviously I don't know her actual backstory, but I have some guesses. If I had to guess, I think she never lived in a house. I think she may have had several litters of puppies. Those are my guesses. So watching her turn into this total couch dog who just loves lounging around in the air conditioning. When I first got her, she was kind of one of those dogs that flinched if you touched her unexpectedly, but now she loves being on the couch with myself or with my husband. And she's just really, I think, learned to love all of the things that it means being in a house and loved and being someone's pet and having her humans around. And that's been really, really great to see, because there's just something about her that makes you want to give her all the good things. She's just so sweet, and she just soaks it all up. And all you want to do is give her nice things and a lot of love.
Yeah. And so can you tell us, a little funny or cute story about Rose that's really made you love her a little bit more?
Sure. I asked my husband this question too, to see what he thought. And last night was a good example, because when she did come, she was pretty reserved. And she was, just kind of trying to figure life out. But now, we'll go in our backyard. We have a super tiny backyard in the city, and she'll just get on her back and just roll around with her legs in the air and this big grin on her face. And you just feel like this is what she deserves. She just deserves to have no fear and to just enjoy that rubbing around. And she just looks like the happiest dog in the world. And it makes me laugh because, I call her the old lady hound, even though she's only 7 years old, but I still call her, the old lady hound. And that just makes me really happy to see.
So on top of her rolling around, what else makes Rose super happy?
Walks. And maybe because she was deprived for so long. So she really, really likes walks. You might see from her eating treats, her meal times are also her favorite. So she is a very good eater, to the point where we use one of those special bowls with the pegs in them just to try to slow her down a little bit. So good eater. She really likes treats. She was enjoying some cheese this morning while I was making breakfast. So she loves food, and she loves walks, and she's really started to love playing with my dog as well. And they're pretty good buddies. If she's not with me, she's with my dog. And if neither of us are available, then she'll go with my husband.
Okay. And is there anything else that you think her potential forever home should know about?
I just think she'd be a great dog for someone that doesn't maybe want a super high energy dog, that doesn't maybe have the time or the inclination to go on super long walks or going to the dog park and all that exercise, but who still wants to get out and do a couple walks a day. 20 minutes, half an hour is great for her. She can get out and sniff. And then she comes in and sleeps, a good chunk of the day. So she's kind of, I think that would make her a great companion for someone that's looking for a dog that still wants to get out and about, but doesn't need excessive amounts of exercise.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Rose and Leah. You can find out more information about Rose at her website, which is bit.ly/adoptrose. And you can also find out information about her on the City Dogs and City Kitties website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. Up next, we have Rambler. Rambler is a 6-year-old male bulldog mix. He weighs about 60 pounds. So, Colleen, can you describe Rambler's ideal day?
Where is he? There he is. His ideal day looks a lot like this. Sorry, I had my iPad in the tripod and it snapped out. He does bark. He come here, sweet boy. He does bark, but he's usually pretty chill. Like he's, I think, kind of like Rosie, he's an older dog. So let me just snap this back in while I'm talking. He is pretty chill. He's older. He's I don't crate train him because he doesn't really need it, because he doesn't need it. He doesn't have any accidents. He doesn't chew on anything. He's really not even into toys. Sorry about this snafu. There he is. Look at how cute he is though. Yeah, he's a pretty chill dog for the most part. He loves to go on walks. He's big into sniffing. He likes to like roll around in the grass. If there's a spot that's got like longer grass or even like bushes and shrubs, he'll just get like right into them. It's actually pretty funny. So yeah, that's Ram. Sorry about this, guys. There he is. So I happen to think he's the handsomest boy.
So what are a few of Rambler's favorite traits? And like what will he do for them? Does he know any tricks? Like will he, put on a show?
He does know sit and stay and shake paws. He knows. His treats, I get him, I mostly keep him on a salmon diet. So he's got, so I get these like chew toys for him. They're called, they're like rawhide alternatives. So he gets those. We do training treats, which I always have with me when we go on walks and stuff. So he gets really excited. He'll get like a really big grin on his face. And he's trying to get him back here. There we are. How's that? So yeah, he loves pretty much any treat. Like he's really not picky. And sometimes like when like I will just kind of like take the treat out, like he'll see it and like he gets really excited, and then he just like immediately sits down and just like waits like a very good boy. So yeah.
And so does Rambler know any words like outside of his commands? Like if you say like WALK, will he know that you're about to go around the block? Like, does he know any words that make him super excited to go do an activity?
I haven't really done that with him. There are days when like he will like sleep in. Like I think that's one of his favorite things to do. So there are days when I'll be like, do you want to go for a walk? And he'll just kind of be like, not right now. But then of course we'll go out later, and he does good on walks. Like we like to go on like longer walks just like around my neighborhood. So and he will sniff everything. He's definitely like, I don't know if he's I don't think he's a hound mix, but he sniffs. But that's like one of his favorite things in the world to do is just sniff stuff. Isn't it, sweet boy? Yeah.
And on those walks, like how does Rambler behave when he meets new people or new dogs?
He's good with people. I actually took him to the bar the other day, and he just kind of hung out with us. And there's some people he'll just go like right up to them, like he's kind of like expecting them to pet him. So yeah, and he's I mean, I live alone and I don't have any kids or anything, but like when we meet people and kids in the neighborhood, he's always really good with them. Like folks will come up, like sometimes he's not that interested in other folks, but for the most part, like especially if you give him a treat, like that's kind of like when he gets really excited.
Awesome. And are there any final thoughts about things that you think that his potential forever family should know?
You know, so he does he can be a little leash reactive on walks, but if you give him treats, like that tends to distract him pretty well. And he's blind in one eye, but it doesn't seem to slow him down at all. Like he still seems to be able to do everything that any other dog would do. So yeah, he's pretty chill for the most part. He does like to eat, like I said, he does like to go on like a nice long walks, but like he can get by with just like a couple with just like, you know, like a couple of walks a day. Like if it's like today if it's like super hot outside or something like that. So he's pretty low maintenance.
Awesome. So thank you so much to Rambler and to you, Colleen. If you want to find more information about Rambler, you can find it on our website or at his website, which is bit.ly/adoptrambler. Rambler spelled like the action, Rambler. Up next, we have Juliet and Joy. These are a set of sisters, I believe. 2.5-month-old female lab mixes. The number I have is 6 pounds, but I assume that has changed in the past little bit. So Celeste, what can you tell us about Juliet and Joy's demeanors and like what makes them similar and what makes them different?
So for the last 55 minutes, they were running around and now they've gone to sleep. So both of them, I don't know if you can see both of them or not, but they are, let's see, this is Juliet. She has brown paws. And this is Joy. She has the white paws. That's the way we tell them apart. But this is good dog behavior. We've learned this from my dogs. I have 3 dogs. And so these two have gotten some really good socialization with the 3 big dogs. They're learning how to be dogs. They're learning how to be in a house, be outside in the yard. What makes them similar, they are, I mean, they're both puppies. They're just puppies, you know, that's, I don't know how else to describe their behavior. They are very much siblings. If Juliet has something, Joy wants it. If Joy has it, Juliet wants it, even though I've given them the identical treat, toy, whatever it may be. So they are, what makes them different is Juliet, she's a little bit smaller. I'm guessing she's the runt of the litter, but she's feisty and she has no fear and is just curious and wants to see and learn everything she can. And then we have Joy, who is much more circumspect, and she is, let's see, there's Joy. So she's a thinker. She tries to figure out and solve problems or issues, or tries to figure out in the yard what's going on. Juliet's response is total dog, where all she wants to do is just jump on it, chew it, try to eat it. And if it doesn't work, she moves on to the next thing. So that's the big difference between the two of them. They are both sweet. They are both lovely house guests with me. They like playing with each other. They like playing with the other dogs. I have 2 city cats here as well. they do not have a prey drive, but they will try to play with the cats. And I have one cat, he's pretty dog savvy with my 3 dogs. And so he'll engage a little bit and then he's kind of done. So they have been socialized with a cat. They're on a routine. They're on a good routine. They get up, they eat, they go outside, they take a morning nap, they have lunch, they take an afternoon nap. About dinner time, they take another nap. And then they eat dinner, they play, and then all the dogs go to bed. These 2 are crated at night for their own safety more than anything else. And let me see if I can get one of them to even stir. You want to get up, Juliet? They'll sleep for me for about 5 to 7 hours in the crate at night. And then usually they'll whine a little bit in the morning. They're not big barkers. When they want to play, they'll yap at each other. They're not big whiners. Don't really allow that in the house much. So with the 3 bigger dogs, they don't want to hear it either. So they've learned whining isn't really the best way to get anyone's attention. But they are as sweet as they can possibly be. They're not needy, which is nice. I've had some puppies that are very needy. These guys are pretty independent. Don't know much about their backstory. I picked them up at DCA about a week and a half ago from our partner rescue shelter in Puerto Rico. They brought them in on an airplane. Somebody was coming up. So don't have a lot of information about them other than they don't mind the heat. So all this horrible, heat wave we've been going through, the 2 of them will sit outside and soak it up. So they're good little puppers.
Awesome. And so what do you think each of the dogs' forever homes would look like? And do you think that they need to live together? Is it okay if they get adopted separately? Do they want to be together? All of that.
I think, I think they'd be perfectly happy together. They'd be perfectly happy apart. I think that as with any puppy, if you're going to adopt a puppy this size, this small, you're going to want you're going to want some outlet for their energy. So whether that's you making sure that the puppy has outlet for the energy or another animal in the house that gives them that outlet for their energy, I think that they would do wonderful someplace that has an outdoor space. They like being outside. They really do. You can put them outside. I have a fenced in yard. I call it the dog containment unit because the dogs can't get out. And they love to be outside. They love to explore the outside. They love to lay down in the dirt. I have 2 hydrangea bushes and they sleep behind the hydrangea bushes. They really do like being outside. So I do think that they would do well with a house with some access to getting outside during the day. And as you can see, they're perfectly comfortable laying on the sectional, and this is where they get their naps in. So they could be just as happy in somebody's house with a great big sofa, comfy sofa for them to lay on. But they're interesting. Both of them watch TV, which is interesting. They're interested in the movement on the television screen, which has been none of my dogs are. And you could turn on the dog channel and they could care less, but these 2 actually watch what's on the screen. And so their ears go up and they're paying attention. So it's really kind of fun to watch them. And they're great little balls of energy. They love to play. They love toys. We're working on corrective behavior with toys and treats. And so they do really well with that. They are food motivated. So that's a great positive for folks to know that if you have a food motivated dog, you can train. So that's these 2 have we've gotten the crate and kennel. They like their kennel, they like their cave. They go in there at night. They know they go in there. I give them a little treat when they go to sleep, and they're happy. They settle themselves down pretty easily. I have a playpen for them. They settle themselves down in the playpen pretty easily. They are learning their manners, as young puppies will, and they do pretty well with that at their age. So they're about 9.5 weeks now. So, and I think 6 pounds isn't too far off. They're probably closer to 8 now, maybe 7.5. They were a little thin when I picked them up, so they've been eating well.
Awesome. And is there anything else that you think their Perfect Forever home or homes need to know about them?
So I do not have young children. Both of my sons are in college, but they do well with women. They do well with men. There's no, they're too young for that. They haven't, there's clearly, they are fine with people. They're fine being picked up. They're fine with being held, but they don't need to be, which is nice. And so they're little love bugs when they want to be. They'll come up and lay down next to you, and they're also perfectly happy snuggling up to one of the other dogs, and kind of, getting up and just laying next to one of the dogs to feel safe. They do like to squeeze themselves between chairs, sofas, pillows, and kind of burrow in. So they are pretty good cave animals. They like that whole burrowing and getting up underneath, like the first dog where she likes to burrow and make a space. They get themselves up underneath the pillows, and you have to be careful where you sit, because you'll sit on top of one of them. So I think with young kids, just one last thing on them. We do have a couple young kids who have been to the house, and, like with all young children, as long as they, aren't screaming at them and are respectful of the dog's space, they're fine with kids. There's no aggressiveness. Neither one of them have showed any aggressiveness since I've gotten them. So
thank you so much, Celeste, and thank you to Juliet and Joy, even though they're deep in dreamland.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly, for puppies, this is what they do a lot. So they're good little nappers.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
can find more about Juliet and Joy on our rescue website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. And they both have individual websites. So Juliet is bit.ly/adoptjuliet. Juliet is spelled JULIET. And Joy is found at bit.ly/adoptablejoy, JOY. So thank you so much to all of you guys. And last but not least, we have Thunder. So Thunder is a 3-year-old male boxer mix. He weighs about 59 pounds. So Shelly and Yoav, what can you tell us about Thunder and what makes him special and attractive to potential adopters?
Thunder is a super sweet boy. He's he's a real joy to be around. He's mellow. He'll play if you want to play with him. But he's mostly treats you like you're a pillow. And he'll sit half on you and half off you. We're not very active ourselves, so we go on about 2 walks a day, and he's getting used to being on walks. We have a pretty quiet neighborhood, and he likes the quiet neighborhood. He was in DC for a while, and he was not a big fan of all of the sounds, but he does great in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood's quiet, and he comes around with treats very easily. He's a big dose of stranger danger. So he has to be plied with treats. And when he meets new people, you have to give him a lot of treats and time because of the stranger danger. But that's pretty much the only thing about him that is, I would say, not the greatest. I think I was saying, he likes to play. when you want to play with him, but when you don't, he's just mellow guy. He's mellow in general. He doesn't bark a lot. He just barks when that's our other dog barking, if you could hear her. He's great companion for our other dog. We have a very shy, not very well socialized hound, and he's just made her come out of her shell. He's loves being around other dogs. And I know that he was around a lot of dogs at one of his previous houses, and he's really good at reading cues. So he took cues from our dog when we first got him to chill out and not bug her. But now that she's really warming up to him, he can be more playful, and he'll like, you know, run alongside her. And yeah, he's a great boy. We really like him a lot. He might not be the most camera. He might not, he kind of looks a little sad, but he's not a sad boy at all. He's sweet, wags his tail. Yeah.
Awesome. And so what has been your favorite moment so far with Thunder?
I like when he plays, because he makes really funny little sounds, and he'll open his mouth and make that kind of sound. And he'll give you a couple play barks, and it's just fun. He'll spin himself in circles when he's playing and kind of go around the room like a little cannonball and take his toys and throw them up in the air. So that's like, it makes me laugh.
Awesome. And so how does Thunder like to spend time with you? Like, what does he enjoy with you?
Thunder likes using you as a pillow. He likes sitting like half on you and half off you. And he also likes you to be a treat dispenser. But mostly he just likes to be around you. I think he'd be best in a house with either someone that works from home or has other dogs, because he was supposed to have a little separation anxiety, the person that had him before us. And but he's been great. We have a doggy cam, and so when we leave, he does fine with our dog. Yeah, he just likes to lay on you like you're a pillow. But he also, if you're uncomfortable, like I like sleeping in bed with my dog, but my boyfriend doesn't. So my boyfriend can just kind of push him off his side, and he'll very willingly go to the other side. And I guess he wasn't really used to being able to sleep in bed with people, so he would sleep downstairs on our couch, and then we've gotten him used to coming upstairs, and he will say Thunder, and he'll come on over and really happily pad upstairs to go sleep in bed. But like I said, he snuggles, but he's not pushy. He's not a pushy snuggler.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Shelly and Thunder. You can find Thunder at his website, which is bit.ly/adoptthunder, spelled like the weather occurrence. And you can also find him on the City Dogs website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. I want to give a huge thank you to all of our fosters today and all of our foster dogs that participated in this event. And you can find all of them at that website that I just mentioned, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good afternoon.